We receive a lot of phone calls and go on a lot of appointments, mostly phone calls, for people who have homes with a tenant. Oftentimes the tenant's not paying, and that's really the motivation for selling the house. If you have a tenant that is paying rent, a simple way to value your house is using the 1% rule. $2,500 a month worth of rent, and that's collected rent, equates to a house worth $250,000. On Long Island, that's the math. That's the math for most of the country. Some parts, it's even a 2% rule. So $250,000, $2,500 worth of rent would equal $125,000 valuation on a house using a 2% rule. But Long Island is pretty much a 1% rule. Houses typically worth more than that. So it's our suggestion always, if you can remove a tenant before you want to sell your house, you're going to make significantly more money. With that said, let's give you the cautionary portion of this bit of advice. If you're collecting rent and you go to ask your tenant to leave, there's a very good chance, unfortunately, that your tenant will choose to stop paying rent. I have no justification for this. It's not logical whatsoever. Doesn't matter how well you've been treating the tenant, there's a chance that tenant's going to stop paying rent. They feel you're asking them to leave, you have no right to do that, and now they're angry with you. It's your house, you're renting it to them, but they're angry with you because you want to do something different with your asset. It doesn't make sense, as I said, but that's life. So decide if that's the risk you want to take. Typically, is significant difference. If investors are making an offer, the offer is usually $30,000 to $50,000 below market value, below what we normally offer for a home. That's two reasons. One reason is it's going to cost us money to carry the house and do the eviction until the tenant leaves. And number two is when tenants leave upon eviction, they oftentimes do damage. Again, they're angry, and especially if someone else buys the house, it's because of me that they're being evicted, because I'm the one who bought the house. Everything is no good anymore. So they're going to more likely do damage, and we have to protect ourselves for that. So again, it's really best if you can get the tenant out yourself. If you're concerned they're not going to leave, it's a risk you're going to have to take. But it's an uncertainty. If they leave, you're going to get more money. If they don't leave, it's going to hurt the value of your house, because a non-paying tenant reduced the value by more than a paying tenant, but not by that much more, honestly. Again, a $2,500 a month tenant equates to a $250,000 house that may really be worth more like $425,000. So maybe even $500,000. So it's usually worth the gamble to try to remove your tenant. That's always our advice, unless you know better because you know the tenant.